Good afternoon, Saitlanders. How are you? We hope that you're well. Yesterday, I placed a link to a video on YouTube of the Canadian prepper, very famous preparation and survivalist channel. I placed that link on the Saitlanders Strategic News WhatsApp group, which is a WhatsApp group for Saitlanders leaders. So you may have seen, the link may have been passed on to you, about a video that this guy did, Canadian prepper, about a first aid handbook or a medical handbook that he reviewed. You can look it up. You find it very easily. One of his most recent videos. And he was making the point that that book and such books will be of paramount value in a time of crisis. And I'd like to share with you something similar. That reads, you've got it there, Where There Is No Doctor, a Village Healthcare Handbook for Africa. This is, you see it says here, updated 2009. So this copy is about 12 years old, something like that. I think that it's great when they update, and I think that the updates have value, but I don't feel as if I'm being robbed because I've got the third edition or the fifth edition or whatever it is. I don't think that they've made any enormous breakthrough in labor, going into labor, women in labor in the past 12 years. Some of the stuff in this book, which is a book very similar to the Canadian prepper one, is just politically correct. It's of no value whatsoever in a time of crisis. For instance, they insist on talking about not smoking, which is great, but it's not what you and I need for the time that lies ahead. And in fact, one of the points that they make about not smoking is that the person who tells other people not to smoke shouldn't smoke, which is good. I smoke, and I tell my children they must never smoke. It's wicked. It's a wicked thing, smoking. But it's not what we're looking for in a time of crisis, is it? So I'm going to just share with you some of the good stuff in here. I'll go through the chapters. Maybe that's one way to give you a good idea. Chapter 1 is Home Cures and Popular Beliefs. And let's see how they address that here. Just hold on a second. Home cures that help. So they give a little bit of a rough idea of a limited number of home cures. I wouldn't say that they're that it's very, very good. But then they move on to more specific stuff. Okay, so home cures and popular beliefs. And really it's about a lot to do with witchcraft and superstition and so on. For instance, they say don't stab people to death for witchcraft. Don't use magic cures. If a child has a sunken fontanelle, don't turn them upside down and hit their feet. Hang them upside down by the feet and then smack them on the feet. If you have a goiter, don't kill a child and rub the goiter with the dead child's hand. But then there's a lot more serious stuff, useful stuff. how to take care of a sick person, sicknesses that are often confused, how to examine a sick person, the correct use of medicine, antibiotics, how to measure medicine and give it to people, instructions and precautions for injections, first aid. That's good. It talks about how to stop nosebleeds, cuts, scrapes, and small wounds, large cuts, bandages, infected wounds, hernias, burns, broken bones, when breathing stops, mouth-to-mouth breathing, nutrition, what to eat to be healthy, prevention, how to avoid many sicknesses. Chapter 13 is some very common sicknesses. Chapter 14 is serious illnesses that need medical attention. Skin problems, the eyes, the teeth, gums, and mouth. Oh, that's an ugly thing. Pus behind the cornea. That's under the eyes chapter. Gee. The urinary system and the genitals, information for mothers and midwives, and it talks about all sorts of women's things, not just birth and pregnancy, some other women's stuff here. Health and sicknesses of children, so pediatric stuff. Health and sicknesses of older people. The medicine kit. Okay. Now there's a kind of an appendix. The uses, dosage, and precautions for medicines. List of medicines. Index of medicines. Information on medicines. Okay, and what have we got at the back here? I think that is just the glossary of terms. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, this is just one example of a number of similar books which you may be interested in obtaining for yourself, and I can assure you, in a time of great difficulty, they will have tremendous value. It will be a terrific advantage to anybody, any person, or any family, or any group of people that possesses such a book. I believe that I've spoken to you before about Encyclopaedia. Encyclopaedia of the old days. So let me bring up a couple here. I've actually got one page open, and then I'm going to open a folder on my computer, and then I'll talk to you about both of them. I actually didn't think to open this in advance. Oopsie. There we go. We're almost there. Sorry, guys. Here we go. I believe that's it. Yes. Okay. So many of you will have seen over time that we have distributed, usually via WhatsApp groups, via leaders and what have you, because it's the best way to do it. It's imperfect, but that's the way it is. numerous little pamphlets, if you like, on various things, such as, here's a very short one, candle making, chemical emergencies, scrounging metal and survival blacksmithing. Okay. This one describes itself as a leaflet. So leaflets, pamphlets, brochures. And I must have, I suppose, that's a dozen. Sorry guys, my computer is on its last legs. That's about another dozen. And I mention all of this, I'm going to come to a point. Here's another probably 2 dozen. Knot tying, knife sharpening, Captain Dave's survival guide, basic firecraft, 10 best traps, another one called traps, shelters, general shelters, sheltering in the home, sheltering in the field, snow shelters, basement shelters, above ground fallout shelters. And I hope that this is giving you guys a nice idea of the different variety, the broad range of variety. And we should all be collecting these things. Of course, printing them is another story altogether because it becomes very expensive. Storage of wheat, storage and rodents, storage in the home, raising rabbits, poisonous plants, plant identification, pantry pests, mylar bag sealing methods, 1-year emergency food supply, how to render animal fat. That means, you get the fat on a human being, animal, whatever, in kind of a raw state when an animal's slaughtered. So to render it means, I don't know if almost to distill, to purify, to convert it into a suitable, usable form. Grains and legumes, emergency food for babies, dehydrating food, a backyard greenhouse. Man, there's so many. Let's, we won't keep you here all day long, but let's have I want to help you guys to understand just what a tremendous, fantastic variety of pamphlets for survival and preparation there are. Rocket stoves, making charcoal, field kitchens, firefighting, fire safety, a bucket stove, Dutch ovens. That I'd be interested in having a read of that. I haven't read many of the things that I've got. I've got dozens on water purification, dozens on cooking and recipes, and I've got a whole bunch, although I'm not seeing them here. They're here somewhere. I'll find them. Not now. On farming. But basic manuals on farming. Just very, very, very basic. But wherever they are, I must have 30 or so. And those ones, as a matter of interest to you, are intended for rural populaces, or let's say poor people in South Africa, to help them to farm. How to plant a mealie, how to look after your tomatoes. Very simple, very low level, suited to people like you and I, who are not professional farmers and will need to learn many skills from scratch. Okay, now, Encyclopaedia. That's what we were on. So I'll give you a rundown on a few that I've got. Chemical recipes from 1896. Now, obviously, that has value because many of the sources of chemicals upon which we rely today won't be available in a time of crisis. But a book such as that might help us to learn how to create or make chemicals with the resources available in 1896. The Encyclopaedia of Practical Recipes of 1872, the Handyman's Workshop and Laboratory of 1910, Industrial Recipes of 1913, The Art of Soap Making in 1896, The English and American Mechanic of 1874, Household Cyclopedia. I don't know why they don't call it Encyclopedia. And this stuff can be found, guys. I'm not even going to give you the links. It's that easy to find it. You know, you will find more than you will ever download. Okay, what have we got here? The 1881 Household Cyclopedia. Is it the same? No, it's not the same one. The Doom Survival Guide. Hints for Housekeepers. It's old. I can't see the date in this title. It might take a while to open on this poor computer, but I'll click on it. Let's see what happens. The Household Companion. Household Discoveries of 1908. These are all encyclopedia for the household. Encyclopedia for living, as we will have to live in difficult times. All right, let's see. The Household Companion is from... Whoops. Oh, this is so slow, it's almost not worth it. Gracious me. Let's see if this one is a bit more rapid. 1855. Wow. Wow. How to make hop yeast, rye bread. Gee. Tremendous stuff that has very little value now, but might have enormous value in the times that lie ahead. Oh, I'm trying to get past the one section here. This is the section on the food. But it's enormous. What else were we looking at? Household Discoveries, we mentioned that. 1,000 Useful Things. The Complete Book of Self-Sufficiency. Anyway, guys, this has been a long video now, and I think that you all get the picture. There are many of these tremendous publications that are available to all of us, and I strongly recommend that you think about getting some of them, either in hard copy or electronic copy. If I had the money, I would get them all in hard copy, or at least print them out. And maybe that will be one of my preparations over the forthcoming year, is to print out as many of these books as I can and store them well. Anyway, all of the best to you guys for your efforts in preparing the necessary knowledge and information that will give us the power to survive in the times that lie ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Goodbye, and God bless all of you. Bye-bye.